Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pause Resume's review of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. First up, a quick note though. Uncharted 4 is a heavy story-driven adventure, and as such, we've tried not to spoil any of the plot, focusing instead on gameplay details and general plot thoughts. If you do want a more broken down review of the plot, we're planning on creating something to this effect in the coming week or so stay tuned for that. It's never easy to see something you love come to an end, whether it be a good book, TV show, or in this case a video game. There's nothing that can quite prepare you for that empty feeling after the credits roll. But Naughty Dog's last Uncharted game feels like it's come to a natural end, and we should be thankful that they've been allowed to end the series when and how they wanted to. Uncharted 4 looks stunning. At times it's difficult to fathom that this is a video game, such as the allure of the luscious vistas that often crop up while you're dangling on a precarious cliff face. But it's not just the settings that offer a unique feel, but the characters themselves. If Naughty Dog reinvented the look and feel of cutscenes back when Uncharted 2 launched, then they've taken it to another level with Uncharted 4. Characters' facial movements now come across so real that at times it was difficult to comprehend that this is a character in a video game. Of course, mocap technology has dramatically improved in recent years, but even so, the level to which Naughty Dog have crafted the likes of Drake, Sully and Elena is such that you have to take yourself out of the moment to truly appreciate the work that has gone into crafting these believable characters. The narrative of Uncharted 4 takes a different route to that of its predecessors. While previous entries focused on high-octane set pieces at every turn, Uncharted 4's path takes a slow and protracted route, often putting you in chapters with little to no gunfights. At times it felt like we had gone hours without firing a bullet, but it allows you to explore and discover notes, journal entries, and the background lore of Uncharted in a more thorough way if you so choose to. You can, of course, just get through these slow segments as quickly as possible, but you'd really be missing the point of taking in the sights, sounds, and world that Naughty Dog have created. The slower pace will put a lot of players off though, especially when there's a distinct lack of action in between the quieter moments. The second half of the game ramps up somewhat, but you'll often be left with long climbing sections without much going on. Uncharted 4 struggles with its pace in part, despite having the best story in the Uncharted series. New characters are introduced in a clear manner and given purpose almost immediately, while the characters we all know and love are handled with care. Thankfully, Uncharted 4 finishes in a way that's satisfying and doesn't leave you with unanswered questions. While the majority of set-piece moments fail to rival the grandeur of previous installments, Uncharted 4's longest set-piece is a standout and occurs at around the halfway point. It sees Drake making his way through a town on foot before jumping into a vehicle trying to escape being mowed down by an armoured truck. The set-piece is memorable for many reasons. Not only does it allow you to have total control over where you drive, but also makes you feel both helpless and powerful all at once when you end up hanging onto a moving truck by a piece of solitary rope.
Hey! Here, take the wheel! What? Get out of your goddamn mind! Yep, probably! Oh, crap!
We were on the edge of our seat throughout, and while there aren't many games that can match it, it's a shame that Uncharted 4 didn't have more of these moments. Perhaps we're being unfair, but Naughty Dog have set themselves such high expectations in previous games that it's a shame that only one set piece was truly memorable for us after the credits rolled. For those who are familiar with Naughty Dog's previous game The Last of Us, it's clear to see that the development of Uncharted 4 has been heavily influenced by the tale of Joel and Ellie. Right from the get-go, the small button prompts to open doors and interact with objects are a more subtle version of Naughty Dog's previous game. Even optional conversations and collectibles have been taken straight from The Last of Us, but crafted in such a way that it fits into the aesthetics of Uncharted. The way these systems have come across show an evolving of Naughty Dog's understanding of player interaction rather than just a simple copy and paste effort. Naughty Dog are aware that the narrative of Uncharted appeals to a slightly different audience than perhaps that of The Last of Us, and so they've gently adjusted its systems accordingly, but not enough so that its light interaction is simplified. Combat is more rough and hard-hitting when compared to the light and fluffy, overdramatic punches of Uncharted 3, and quick-time events are more common, often encouraging you to repeatedly press a button, much more so than in previous titles.
What are the satellites saying, Victor?
Right now, not a goddamn thing. I lost the signal.
Hey, you know what never loses signal? Paper.
Stealth plays a more important role in Uncharted 4 than all 3 previous titles put together. While the previous Uncharted games presented a loose idea of being sneaky, Uncharted 4 embraces it. When you enter an area undetected, you'll be allowed to mark enemies and track them throughout the segment. Guards will also display a meter above their head, signalling whether they spotted you or not. White means they're looking in your general direction, yellow shows that they're actively investigating your immediate area, while orange signals the start of a gunfight between you and, quite frankly, everyone else. These stealth-like elements fit in with the overall narrative, but they seem short of where they should be. Marking, for example, forces you to hold L2 to aim your weapon before clicking in L3 to mark them. However, doing this forces you to pop out of cover in order to pick out and track an enemy. Not so easy when you're in tall grass and surrounded by a plethora of enemies who are mere feet away from you. Not having any distraction abilities doesn't help matters. Throwing a rock to lure a guard away, for example, would have helped these sections immensely. The 2 biggest changes to the general gameplay of Uncharted 4 are the additions of the grappling hook and, surprisingly, a sliding mechanic. The hook in particular allows you to explore further and just generally swing about. It breaks up the monotony of climbing rock after rock and forces you to look vertically when at a cliff face rather than just at walls or places to grab. It's used in innovative ways and sometimes in conjunction with sliding. Nate can now slide down surfaces in order to reach new sections of chapters. In one of the early sections of the game, you're forced to cross a sliding area to reach the other side, but sliding down too far will result in Drake's death. It works well and opens up your mind to looking at traversing differently, much like the grappling hook. Sliding down a cliff face before jumping and throwing your grappling hook to prevent a death offers a nice sense of accomplishment, even if it happens quite often. Uncharted 4's multiplayer offering is a joy to play and a nice distraction from the main campaign. Featuring all the usual modes and customization you'd expect, but there are doubts as to whether it has legs to last as long as the other successful multiplayer games and even Uncharted 3's effort. The maps are static and progression doesn't seem to have made an important part of the multiplayer, both aspects moving in the opposite direction to Naughty Dog's last 2 attempts at multiplayer. It's a shame that after The Last of Us provided a great alternative multiplayer mode that was unique in many ways, Uncharted 4 has reverted back to hitting the expected modes and not really doing anything to innovate. Even Uncharted 3's interactive maps added a little bit of something out of the norm. Throughout the entirety of Uncharted 4, I was at odds as to where it sat within the series. Its narrative is without question the best to date and delivers a story that's both engrossing and satisfying at its conclusion. But pacing is an issue that some will find difficult to overcome. Long sections without gunplay end up making some parts feel like a slog and stop the narrative from progressing as it should, which is a shame when you consider the unique and great bond all the characters have during every interaction. Uncharted 4 is a great game with minor flaws that hold it back from reaching Naughty Dog's previous heights, but don't let these minor gripes stop you from experiencing a truly wonderful game.
I appreciate the gesture. It's just...
I'm gonna go ahead and do the dishes.
No, stop, I'll do them. No,
You
hold
did
on.
them last night.
No, you cooked. I cleaned. It's fine. I mean, at least, let me try to earn it or something. Let me play you for it.
You'll play me for it?
Yeah. Your little TV game thing. I bet I can beat your high score.
You think that you can beat my high score on my TV game thing?
Yeah, I think you're scared now.
You don't even know what it's called.
I don't need to know what it's called. I've seen you play. It's
Right.
jumping and running, and I have a natural talent
Oh,
for that.
really?
So, what do you say? Chicken? Is it a bet?
Oh, wow. Okay, cowboy.